relentless we go. Our roads are woke, relentless we go. Doing our bit for the wounded to heal. Changing realities with the swagger and feel. Bring it on, naya naya रास्ता हमारा. Bring it on, हम है आ रहे ओ यारा. Bring it on, yara. Oh yeah, bring it on. Forever and a day, we are not just gonna pray. You can shake us, break us, gotta steer us. We are here to say, yeah, we grow like a tree. We evolve and we'll be free. We believe in our passion and make future every beat. Like a phoenix, we reborn. Is this your best? Come on, bring it on. Yeah, I.R.M.U.N, bring it on. Don't let the darkness drive. Be the force they can deceive and divide. Be the love withstand the test of time. Be the truth, one and the only way of life. Hey, bring it on, naya naya रास्ता हमारा. Bring it on, naya naya रास्ता हमारा. Bring it on, हम है आ रहे ओ यारा. Bring it on, हम है आ रहे ओ यारा. Bring it on, वक्त है हमारा जहान सारा. Bring it on, naya naya रास्ता हमारा. Bring it on, हम है I.R.M.U.N ओ यारा. Hey, bring it on, naya naya रास्ता हमारा. Bring it on, naya naya रास्ता हमारा. Bring it on, हम है आ रहे ओ यारा. Bring it on, हम है आ रहे ओ यारा. Bring it on, वक्त है हमारा और जहान सारा. Bring it on, नया नया रास्ता हमारा. Bring it on, हम है I.R.M.U.N ओ यारा. A light that brightens the whole world up. A voice that makes up the mountains shine. Our roads are woke, relentless we go. Our roads are woke, relentless we go. Doing our bit for the wounded to heal. Changing realities with the swagger and feel. Bring it on, naya naya रास्ता हमारा. Bring it on, हम है आ रहे ओ यारा. Bring it on, yara. Oh yeah, bring it on. Forever and a day, we are not just gonna pray. You can shake us, break us, gotta steer us. We are here to say, yeah, we grow like a tree. We evolve and we'll be free. We believe in our passion and make future every beat. Like a phoenix, we reborn. Is this your best? Come on, bring it on. Yeah, I.R.M.U.N, bring it on. Be the flame, don't let the darkness drive. Be the force they can deceive and divide. Be the love withstand the test of time. Be the truth, one and the only way of life. Hey, bring it on, naya naya रास्ता हमारा. Bring it on, naya naya रास्ता हमारा. Bring it on, हम है आ रहे ओ यारा. Bring it on, हम है आ रहे ओ यारा. Bring it on, वक्त है हमारा और जहान सारा. Bring it on, नया नया रास्ता हमारा. Bring it on, हम है I.R.M.U.N ओ यारा. swaggerity. Bring it on, नया नया रास्ता हमारा. Bring it on, हम है आ रहे ओ यारा. तानी कदीम, तानी कदीम, दीम तानी कदीम, तानी कदीम, दीम. Bring it on, यारा. Oh yeah, bring it on. Taani kadeem, deem. Forever and a day, we are not just gonna pray. You can shake us, break us, cut us, steer us. We are here to say, yeah, we grow like a tree. We evolve and we'll be free. We believe in our passion and make future every beat. Like a phoenix, we reborn. Is this your best? Come on, bring it on. Yeah, I.R.M.U.N, bring it on. Be the flame, don't let the darkness strive. Be the force, they can deceive and divide. Be the love, withstand the test of time. Be the truth, one and the only way of life. Hey, bring it on, naya naya rasta hamara. Bring it on, naya naya rasta hamara. Bring it on, hum hai aa rahe o yara. Bring it on, hum hai aa rahe o yara. Bring it on, waqt hai hamara, jahan hai sara. Bring it on, naya naya rasta hamara. Bring it on, hum hai I.R.M.U.N o yara.
All right, so I think we have a guest speaker amongst us, and we'll just quickly begin with the meeting. Aditi ma'am, am I audible to you? Ma'am, am I audible to you? All right. We'll just wait for Aditi ma'am to join us, and then we'll begin. All right, guys. So today we are here for a very, very important discussion that is going to be there, which might help you guys tackle certain obstacles in life. And for that very session, we'll be having Dr. Aditi Govitrikar with us over here today. And we'll just wait for her to join the session. We'll just check if we have her. Lovely. Ma'am, am I audible to you? Lovely. Great. So I'll just, oh, okay. Lovely.
Hi, Shreyas. Hi, everybody.
Hello,
Good
ma'am.
afternoon.
So, ma'am, before we begin formally, this is actually a moderated session. We have about 1,000 people, and just in the morning, our Zoom crashed.
Oh, dear.
Because of such a hectic load. So,
Okay.
which is why we have kept it in a moderated session, so that this is also going live on YouTube. So
Right.
all these youngsters are going to watch you over there as well.
Okay.
And now, not that you need an introduction, but just for a formal bit so that I get this honor. She is a model, an actress, a mother, and most of all, a very, very, very caring human who has been entitled as a beauty with brains by the Times of India. And she's also the person behind the foundation of PETA in India. She is none other than Dr. Aditi Govitrikar. And today, she's here to guide you all and mentor you all in your journey ahead so that you guys, when facing obstacles, can remember these words of wisdom and fight those challenges in a way that no one else can. We are really honored to have you amongst us, Dr. Aditi Govitrikar, ma'am. Thanks a lot for joining us today.
Thank you so much, Shreyas, and hi, everybody, once again. I believe the topic is obstacles and how to get out of those or get over those or destroy those to achieve whatever goals you have in life. Now, each one of you must have different goals, right? No two goals, no two people have similar dreams, or even if the goals are similar, the expectations from the goals are different, right? Now, I'm very intrigued by this whole World War II, and what is this about, Shreyas? Lok
So,
Sabha and World War II and Poland and Germany, etc. What is all this about?
so today we have been discussing 30 unique agendas, which include the Patriots together from the 1925 wars. Then we go to World War II, the controversies revolving around Hitler being alive after the death, him
Yeah.
traveling to Spain. Then we have discussed topics like Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha. And then we've also, because a younger lot do not understand a lot more of politics, we've also got committees like Harry Potter and Marvel. And something that's really trending nowadays on Netflix is Lucifer. So we've got
Yeah.
entitled those committees as well. So all these people are representing different characters, role playing different characters of different countries, portfolios. And that is what these people are doing over here today. So discussing all those things.
Okay, okay. So that's very interesting. So hi, people from Marvel, Lucifer, Lok Sabha. I'm going to say hi to all of you. It's very, very interesting what you guys are doing. And I have to admit that when I was a youngster, we didn't have these opportunities. So you will say, yeah, I mean, generations change, different opportunities are available for different people. Surely it is. But if I had to choose a time to be born, if God came and said, okay, you choose which era you want to be born on, I certainly would choose now, because now is the best time in the sense that, today with just a swipe of finger, you can get whatever you want to know, right? Google is our best friend. When I was your age, we had to go to good old library and go through pages and pages and ask somebody. So it was a lot more difficult in that sense. Yes, you guys have your own obstacles, which I will talk to you about from my experience of having seen what is happening around. So what Shreyas did not, perhaps it slipped his mind to mention, is I'm also a psychologist. I'm also a counselor and a medical doctor. So that combination and the work that I have done with different people enables me to share my observations with you, which is perhaps the reason why I'm invited here to speak to you guys. Now, obstacles are part of life. We cannot have a life without stress. So, zero stress or no obstacles, it's a utopian world, which means that it doesn't exist. Every single person on the Zoom call must have faced some obstacle or the other. And one thing which is you're going to think about it for a long time to come is most of the obstacles are created by ourselves. Remember this. Most of the obstacles are created by ourselves. It's that little voice in our heads. We all have that little voice which constantly talks to you. Even as I'm speaking to you, most of you are talking to yourself, right? Some of you might not be present in the moment. Some of you might be saying that, okay, what's the snack that I'm going to get after this session? Or what am I going to go and meet my friends and do after this, etc. Right? So that little voice is the reason why obstacles are created. Event happens outside of you. To give you an example, pandemic happened, all of us suffered through it, right? Now there are certain people who, pandemic is a fact. That's an event that happened for everybody. It's a global occurrence. Now, each individual handled it differently. The cases of depression, loneliness, being addicted to screens, which I'm sure all of us, went through that we were constantly on the screen. This school was on screen, tuition was on screen, you were talking to your friends on screen, plus the swiping of different social media apps, right? That's very, very engaging for us as human beings. So we did get addicted to screens. Now, when this pandemic happened, we're like, oh my God, I can't go to school, I can't do this, I can't meet my friends. And you sink into that downward spiral. One thought that, okay, I cannot step out of my house has taken you down, right? Now, there are other set of people who looked at the pandemic and said, hey, you know what? I don't have to go out. I don't have to sit in a bus or in a car and go to my school. I save that time. What can I do with that time? Can I learn a new skill? Because I'm saving 2 hours of my traveling time. Say going to, for your games or tuitions or school, you save that time. What am I going to do with that time? So some people took up upon themselves to enrich their lives, right? So it's very crucial to look at yourself. Who are you as a person? Analyze your strengths, analyze your weaknesses. Now, many a times, unfortunately, the conditioning in school or because of parents or friends is that they say, okay, this is your weakness, let's work on it. Nothing bad in it, right? You have to work on certain weaknesses, you can work on certain weaknesses, you just accept, and that's okay. Every human being has strengths and has weaknesses. Nobody is perfect. We think on social media everybody looks very perfect, right? We're like, oh my god, she's so cool or he's so cool, and blah blah blah. However, every single human being has negatives and positives, strengths and weaknesses. The thing that you must remember, that you have to work with your strengths. Now, what do I mean by this? A very simple example or an analogy is, it's like swimming with the tide and not against the tide. When you're working with your weaknesses, you're swimming against the tide. So the strength, the level of willpower that you need to apply then is a lot more. You swim, if the river is going downstream, you swim downstream, it's much easier because the force is with you. You are all into Avengers and Marvel and all, right? Let the force be with you, right? So work with your strengths. So make a list. The simplest way to do it is make a list of your strengths, make a list of your weaknesses. See the weaknesses, be aware of them. It doesn't mean that I'm putting my head in the sand and pretending everything is okay. No, I'm aware of my weaknesses. I look at the weaknesses and say, hey, suppose procrastination or laziness is my weakness. Can I work on this? Is it going to help these trends? Yes, it does, right? So let me work on my procrastination. Yeah. Some weaknesses you can't work on. So you say, fine, this is my weakness. I'm not going to change it. Like, for example, I'm an introvert, right? I'm a born introvert. I became ambivert because of my career, because of I wanted to step out of my introvertedness. It's not bad to be an introvert. Introvertedness has its positives. Okay. So I worked on that weakness, but I know that I'm an introvert and I'm happy being one. I'm not going to be going into a party and like, yeah, I'm the center of, no, I'm not that kind of a person, which I accept, and I'm happy with who I am. So it's important to recognize what it is. Now take your strengths. We all have certain strengths. See what your strength is. And remember, your number one strength is your superpower. Work with that. Now, there are ways and means of finding out what your strengths are. There are some tests which as a psychologist, I conduct, which it's not about the introvertedness, not that extrovertedness, not that. These are different tests that I conduct with my clients, which will give you 34 strengths in the order of the strength that is present in yourself. Now, 1 in 33 million people will have the same strengths as you. Identical match does not happen. You are that unique. Each of you, even though there are just 34 strengths which have been recognized, there is nobody like you. You are unique. So the top 7 to 8 strengths are your core strengths. You've got to choose those, to choose whatever it is that you're doing in life. So that is a very, very important message that I wanted to leave you with. Having said that, Shreyas, we can. I mean, I'm happy to take questions after this.
Yeah. So I did not miss that out. I just wanted to cover that a little later in the session, wherein I wanted to introduce this thing because of this online thing that's been going on. Everyone has completely shifted the schedule. Earlier, we used to sleep on a specific time because we had to run out. And as a psychologist, because you've done that, and let me tell all of you that she has been entitled Beauty with Brains for a very, very, very specific reason. She has been the only MBBS doctor and a supermodel for a very long time when she was entitled. That is the reason why she was entitled. So she has covered it all. So, ma'am, now you're seeing a complete shift in so many things that you've done. So you're seeing a shift in modeling, you're seeing a shift in doctors, you're seeing a shift in people coming for therapy. So how do you find this online shift? How difficult or how tackling has it been, considering for someone like you who has understood, how people react to things? So how has that been for you? Just give me a second.
Yeah. So that's a good question because life has shifted online, right? It's become two-dimensional. Like I said earlier, that school, tuition, meeting friends, partying, even, right? We've been doing it all on this two-dimensional manner. Now, that is going to take a toll on our mental health because human beings, as species, we are not meant to live by ourselves. We are meant to have the three-dimensional or the four-dimensional experience in our lives. Human touch is very important. So whoever right now, all of you, make sure that you hug your mom, you hug your sibling, you hug your father. It's very, very important. Human touch is very important. Another thing which lacks on this two-dimensional manner is that you can't read body language that easily because only this much part of your body is visible. And for people who know about communication, know that almost 70% of our communication happens through your body. Words are only 30%. That also means now that we don't have a choice, right? I can't sit and cry that, oh my God, how can I practice psychology when I can't read somebody? Because psychology is all about understanding what the person is saying and not saying, right? So it becomes very difficult. But can I sit and cry and say, oh my God, what do I do now? No, I can't do that. So what can I do? So here I want to make another point is that when you think of anything, if there is a problem, ask yourself, can I switch from problem oriented thinking to solution oriented thinking? When you say, this is the issue, this is the problem, I can sit and cry. I can wallow in it and I'm like, oh my God, what do I do? Or I can say, this is the issue. How can I get out? What are 10 different ways of handling this issue? I write it down. I believe a great deal into writing, right? And pen and paper, not this writing. Why? Because think about it. When you're typing, you're using your eight or maybe thumb as well, but it's in the same plane. When you're writing with a pen or a pencil, this is the action. This action has different pathway to your brain. Evolution is this is new, right? So this impact when you write is very different. So whenever you can, please use pen and paper. This is a very different, it's a fine motor activity plus a gross motor activity, both, but it has an impact on your brain to whatever you're writing. Okay, so that is very important. Now, if this is a obstacle that I have, that okay, I cannot read my client's body language, what do I do? I have to then start paying attention to what the person is saying. Words become important. Now, we all know that voice has words, it has tonality, it has modulation, right? So when you start paying attention to what a person is saying, that also means that I have to develop my skill of listening. Now, the little voice in our head does not allow you to listen as much. And I have done this experiment many times. So I do this 21-day transformation program. Shreyas, I'm not aware. I'm not sure whether you're aware of it or not.
No,
Where
we
I
did. We did. You
yeah.
told us about it last time, and we did put it up on our stories and stuff.
Okay.
And we'll do that again. We'll do that again.
Yeah.
I'm joining. I'm joining.
Please
time.
do. It's a wonderful program where you will know. So I give a test of listening, and till date, nobody has passed the test. And I've had doctors, I've had engineers, I have had astronauts, I've had students attending the program. Nobody has passed. Most of the people have failed miserably. That is listening. So we have to cultivate our listening. So then I ask myself, okay, this is the situation. I can't go to my clinic to do my counseling sessions. Can I be online and listen properly to what somebody is saying? So I develop my art, the art of listening, which can be done. Okay, so that is something that you can definitely practice. That okay, this is a issue. How can I look at and write down 10 different ways of finding out how you can get out of it. Okay, and you will see how amazing it is and how quickly you will find solutions and get out of the situation.
In fact, actually, I was going through one of the interviews wherein you say, and I quote, God has given us one mouth and two ears. So we should listen twice as much as we speak. I hope that's exactly what you meant. So that is something that, I feel a lot of us lack because of the hurry to put our views forward. And sometimes, it's considered that you're an extrovert if you keep on talking, which is not the case. It is more about connectivity. If you can share a little more light on, what is it actually being an extrovert? Because I think a lot of us are always like, "Aap baat nahi kar sakte, you cannot talk." So what is that obstacle that we have as someone who might not be introverted?
Right. So one thing which I want to share is, and this knowledge came to me a lot later. Growing up years, I was an introvert. I only had like 2 3 friends, and I was very happy in my own world because books played a very integral part in my not wanting to interact with others, because I was super happy with my friends, with my books, right? So I did have a couple of friends who were really, really close to me. And the world kind of thinks that being extrovert is cool. That I have to be out there, I have to be talking, I have to be peppy, I have to be chirpy. And people who don't talk much, who are loners or who are quiet, they are not like, oh, okay, this one is a quiet one, right? Now, one thing which I want to clarify over here, psychologically, what does introvertedness and extrovertedness means is that for an extrovert person, it's crucial for them to have stimulation from outside. For introverted person, they get their stimulations from within, from themselves. So it's not like this is good or this is bad. Both of them have their place. I don't need to meet others to feel energized. I'm happy being with myself with a book. I will feel equally energized. Right. So this is a big takeaway for all of you, for people on this platform who are who are introverted. It's fine. You don't need that external stimulation. It is as simple as that. There is no this is good or bad, like I said earlier.
There's this one interesting question that we've got from one of the students is, in considering our mental health, we get exhausted while, attending schools and colleges. So is it a good thing that we take that one holiday? Is it a good thing that we create that one bahana, pet mein dard, and suddenly, it all vanishes? So is it a good thing or is it a bad thing? Does it affect our mental health, or does it create a mental block or something in any ways for us to be afraid of school or anything?
Right. Now it has many layers. This question has many layers. I mean, think about, on a holiday, do you get exhausted? You're like running on the beach, you're in the water, you're technically exhausted, right? I mean, you're in the sun, but do you feel exhausted? No. Why? Because you're enjoying the activity. Where school is concerned, maybe you don't like the subject. Maybe it is, like constant repetitive things that the teacher is saying, and you're not interested anymore. That is what causes exhaustion. So that's again a very nuanced takeaway here, that think about why you get exhausted. And there are ways and means. Doing something on screen for 7, 7, 8 hours can be exhausting because of other reasons, because you're stuck in one place. You're constantly exposed to these rays that emanate from the screen. That can also lead to dry eyes, to exhaustion. So the trick over here is, it's called Pomodoro technique, which is every 25 minutes. So 25 minutes you focus on your task. And this is not related only to school, to anything, any project you take up which you want to finish. 25 minutes, do not look at anything else. So keep your phone away. If you want, hand it over to somebody, keep it in another room, lock it up in the cupboard. So the temptation of reaching out and checking streaks आया है क्या, Instagram में किसने DM किया है, वो नहीं होता, right? So get rid of the whatever it is that you have, which is going to distract. So 25 minutes, stay focused. 5 minutes after that, take a break. So when I say take a break, don't go to the screen and check again. Take a break means look into nature. So if you stay wherever you do, if there is a tree, observe the tree, look into the clouds, walk around to your house, have a glass of water, but go and get it. Don't scream for your mom or dad to give it to you. Walk to the kitchen and get the water. What this does is, your brain is focused into some activity, right? When you look somewhere else, automatically the sensory input changes. That switches your brain. It transforms or changes your brain to think of something else. By walking, you're also increasing the blood flow in your body, because sitting in one place for too long is not good for us. And like I say, that sitting is the new smoking. It's as bad, right? So even if you just stretch, get up and stretch, just twist a little bit, that will also refresh your brain. and then take 25 minutes again. So if you're in school, be careful. 45 minutes ka, if your lecture is for 45, 25 minutes mein utke ye sab nahi karna, wo bolenge ke kya hai. So then if that is the case, then do after 45 minutes. That's fine, right?
I think that is what we all do after 45 minutes, but a little difference is we ask for a PT lecture. We
Yes.
don't ask for stretches, we ask for a PT lecture. But on that note, I'll take one last question. So here's the question. He said, you said that, we work on our strengths. We understand our weaknesses, but we should focus on our strengths. So we touched upon it a little. Exhaustion, mental exhaustion and physical exhaustion is what we just touched upon. So when choosing our careers, now passion is something which is very difficult and tricky to figure out, considering, everyone has so many talents and everyone can be talented about each and everything. But how do we figure out our own passion? Like, I still do not know. You're passionate about so many things, that you've done so many things as a career. So rather, what my question is it necessary to choose your passion? Do we need to have one passion as career?
Right. Again, a very good question, Shreyas. My belief, and this is my belief, I don't know about anybody else. I've not read about it in terms of scientific papers or anything like that, is that passion is fine, but I haven't seen a single human being in my lifetime who's passionate about one thing throughout. Passion goes down after some time. Initially, you're excited, you're like, oh my God, I'm going to do this. But when you have to do the repeated thing over and over and over again, then boredom can set in. So be careful that I'm passionate about ABC, right? To give you an example, let's take my story, for example. I'm passionate about modeling. Sure, I was passionate about modeling. I went ahead and I became the supermodel of India. I did shows for most top designers of India and otherwise in the world as well. After 10 years, I'm like, I can't do this anymore. It just seemed like my brain cells were dying. I'm like, okay, I'm done with modeling. Now, where did the passion go? Right? The passion went down. And that is what happens in most cases. So the thing is that, do I give it up completely? No, I still continue to model. I'm not doing ramp shows as I used to, of course, because of age as well, because of, again, I left it long time back. I left it in 2007 or 6 because I got bored with it. It wasn't like for the lack of opportunities. But then now what I do is I changed it to a little bit to saying that, okay, I will do the showstopper. I will come as a chief guest. I will come as a jury, right? So I changed it to adapt to what I enjoy now. See, because our tastes also change, right? What I liked as say 5 years back, even food, for example, you all know that, right? You like certain things at certain time. You like a certain outfit, a certain person. After some time, you don't. You outgrow it. So passion is very, I would say, temporary in that sense. It can help you to choose your career, but choose your career on strengths. And I'm repeating this again. Identify what your strengths are. Use those top 7 or 8 strengths that you will find to then choose your career, because that is a long lasting thing. These strengths generally don't change, at least not that I know of, that anybody is completely changed, right? So your strengths are inherent to you. That is what makes you who you are. Those are very, very unique to the person you are. So if you choose your career based on your strengths, it will be a lot longer lasting. And then you can adapt a little bit, you can change a little bit. Like, for example, psychology, right? I became a psychologist. Very early on, I realized that I don't want to do as many I enjoy one-to-one counseling sessions, but my whole goal of my life is to impact as many people. I want to be a global coach. I want to be a global counselor. Doing one-to-one sessions is not going to help me do that. I need to have a bigger platform. How can I get a bigger platform? Right? So I worked it to saying that, okay, let me do motivational talks such as this on different platforms. I started getting invited for corporate sessions. So I started doing corporate workshops, right? I started getting invited to conferences and so on and so forth. So that's how I will spread my wish, or I will achieve my dream of being a global person in my field. So I could have chosen to say I'll do one-to-one sessions, 6 sessions a day, or whatever, and limit myself to that, which is not bad at all. But that was not my wish. That's not my goal, right? So I worked towards whatever I wanted to do. So I adapted the field that I had chosen.
Lovely. I'm really happy, and this is just a personal intake that I received today. Is a lot of times we are asked, what are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? It comes to strengths, we'll mention the 4 5 things that generalized with us. But I think today I realized that it's not only about what makes me, but it's about what defines me. To be very honest, to what defines me as a person. And I think that is something really, really interesting that I've learned today. And I hope a lot of you have gained a lot of insight from ma'am. And thanks a lot, ma'am, for taking out time and enlightening us upon such crucial aspects, especially the passion part. Everyone keeps on telling us follow your passion. No one really justifies how do we follow our passion. So thanks a lot for explaining
Follow
that to
your
us.
passion, but make sure that the passion also has, because at times what happens is because of peer pressure, and you guys are at an age where peer pressure is the key to, and it's important. It's not like peer pressure is bad. It's important to for you to develop into a person or an adult that you will become, right? So that is very, very important. But see to it that passion is supported by your strengths when you choose your career.
That's wonderful. I hope I am choosing the correct career path. And for that, I will definitely join your session and check if I am able to succeed in that test. And I will try my very best. And on that note, thanks a lot for joining us, ma'am. It was a
Thank
lovely
you. I'm going
interaction
to
with
take a
you.
last question here because it's a very important question.
Sure.
Somebody asked if crying is crying an inferiority complex. To that, the answer is a resounding no. Crying is very, very cathartic. If you feel like crying, please go ahead and cry. It's very, very good for you, because what happens is if you don't cry, you feel that choked feeling here. If you don't cry, that heaviness, right? When you don't allow yourself to cry. So that choked feeling is because if you dissect your throat at that time, will you find anything? You will not, right? So anatomically or physically, there's nothing there, but yet you feel that feeling and the choked feeling. What happens when you don't cry? What happens to those emotions is they get stored in your body, and when you suppress your emotions, when you do not express in a proper manner, just because I'm angry I can't chuck things at others, that's a wrong expression of anger. But there are ways and means of channelizing your anger and expressing it so that it is not suppressed, because suppressed emotions will cause a lot of harm to your well-being, physical as well as mental. So be wary, be aware that when you feel a certain heavy emotion, make sure that you express it, right? It's like pressure cooker. Steam builds up. If the steam is not let out, it will explode. Same thing happens to us. It will manifest in skin illness and heart disease and diabetes. All these are related to your emotions. So a lot of illnesses are psychosomatic, which means it's related to your mind and your thoughts and your emotions. Yeah.
Thanks a lot for that insight, ma'am. And I truly think, you've helped us out a lot in understanding ourselves, our emotions, and how we can move forward. And that's lovely of you that, took out time. And I think we exceeded the time limit also a little. But thanks a lot for joining in today,
Thank
ma'am.
you, everybody. All the very best. Bye.
Thank you, ma'am. Bye-bye. Have a great day ahead.
Thank you. You guys too. Bye.
All right, guys, that was Dr. Aditi Govitrikar. And on that note, thank you all for joining in. Until next time at Evolution Next, an exclusive by I.R.M.U.N.